So in 2009, I was living in Stowe, Vermont, managing a demo fleet for a small bicycle company. Unfortunately, I got downsized out of this job, and with no work until the upcoming winter, I decided to take a budget trip of Europe. With hardly any planning, I grabbed my passport and out-of-date guidebook and booked a ticket to Athens, Greece. With my brilliant lack of planning, I check into the sketchiest hostel in all of Athens, no big deal, still safe enough, and get to exploring this amazing ancient city. After a few days of exploring Athens, I hopped a ferry to the beautiful island of Mykonos. The portside city was breathtaking, but really what I was there for was relaxing on the beach, and I couldn't ask for a better place to do it. With more beaches to hit and islands to explore, I took a ferry and was off to Santorini, Greece. As soon as you land here, you can understand why this is the honeymoon destination for people all over the entire world. At this point in the trip, I was already eating on a serious budget and hanging out with some of the locals. So after soaking in beautiful Santorini, I grabbed the locals ferry to Crete, Greece, where I found the most amazing hostel for just €9 a night, run by an English expat, just a minute from the beach. Really one of the most beautiful areas I've ever been in my life, and I cannot wait to go back. I found an amazing day hike right from the hostel, 15 kilometers all downhill through a gorge that I can't ever possibly pronounce, all ending in a liter of Mythos. I had a lot more to explore, so unfortunately I did have to leave, so I went to Heraklion, grabbed a cheap flight, and ended up going to Rome, Italy. I love the way Rome balances being a modern bustling city with having all these amazing ancient monuments. Also, Ducatis, Ferraris, and espresso. That's enough reason for me. After spending a day in the unbelievable Vatican Museum, I hopped a train to Florence, Italy. Now trust me, this is the place in Italy that you actually want to eat pizza, and the best pizza in Italy by far. You can get to visit 2 of the 3 David statues. There are actually 3 David statues. Unbelievable art culture, and probably the best thing is that you're in the Tuscan wine region. You must go on multiple wine tours while you're here. Absolutely unbelievable, life-changing thing. After enjoying a lot of wine with a bunch of new friends, it was time to take a very hungover train ride down to Pompeii. Ever since I was a little kid, I wanted to visit this city that was perfectly preserved when Mount Vesuvius erupted in 76 AD, I think. What most people don't tell you is this is actually the size of a city. Imagine if you were exploring the ancient city of Denver. It's actually that big. After Pompeii, it was a long train ride to Venice, Italy. Unfortunately, I was traveling after tourist season, so I didn't realize most hostels and hotels were going to be closed or doing remodeling. So I ended up staying in the back of a canal-side bookshop in the back room with a lot of cats and wet, damp books. This definitely only added to my experience in this city. It's one of the most breathtaking, beautiful cities in the entire world, and there's nothing else like it in the world. Of course, I had to take the gondola. You see a whole different view of the city from the water. I spent a long time soaking in the Hemingway-esque views, but then I was off on a long train ride to Munich, Germany. It's amazing that most of this city is actually a recreation. It was bombed flat at some point in World War II. It actually looks like an old city, but let's be honest, we're all here for the beer halls. I had the best beer of my life, met a bunch of really awesome random people, saw some really funny dancing, and just generally loved the entire city. I took a day trip down to Neuschwanstein Castle. You might actually recognize this as the castle that Disney modeled Cinderella's castle after. I made my way from the beautiful Alps down to the Black Forest of Stuttgart. After looking for hostels that weren't there anymore, I was finally able to tour the city for several days. The beautiful riverfront city is absolutely breathtaking. Finally, I was off to Paris, France, one of the places I was most excited about on this trip. I got stuck overnight in Lille because all the train service in Belgium got shut down, but I finally made it to my unbelievable hostel. I can't believe I got this on the Montmartre, overlooking all Paris. I toured all Paris for several days. I spent 3 days actually in the Louvre. I love Paris. I cannot wait to go back. At this point in my trip, I'm honestly getting pretty exhausted with over 10 weeks on the road. I still wanted to hit up Spain, so I hopped a flight to Madrid. Absolutely beautiful, great parties, awesome people, love paella. With my travel visa rapidly expiring, I decided before I left, had to hit up Amsterdam. For some reason with Amsterdam, it's just kind of a blur of the Heineken factory, a lot of bicycles, and a beachside town with a mermaid in it. And for some reason I was strangely enthralled by this duck. This really ended my trip. I can't tell you how much this trip means to me. It was absolutely life-changing. Anybody can do this. I did this for under $5,000 just by staying at hostels, eating like locals. Everybody should try to do this.